Welcome back. It's tough to imagine a time when school nurses have been more important, but right now there aren't enough of them in Michigan. But the question is, how severe is the shortage? Grant Herms has been looking into that issue and the toll the pandemic has taken on school nurses in general. Grant, good evening.
Well, good evening. So the shortage, like I said, is severe, but the big problem is that we don't really know how many nurses Michigan actually has. A lot of that work to find out where they are and where they aren't is being done by word of mouth. And on top of that, school outbreaks are climbing at an alarming rate. More than 100 new outbreaks reported in schools just this week.
As Michigan schools look toward another fall of outbreaks, school nurses are once again on the front lines for thousands of students, teachers, and families. According to the National Association of School Nurses, Michigan is one of just 7 states that doesn't keep track of how many school nurses are taking care of students. The last comprehensive check was in 2014. The state then having around 500 nurses in all, leaving an estimated 800,000 students without a full-time nurse. Over the past several years, the state and nationwide shortage of nurses overall has taken its toll on districts. Michigan Association of School Nurses President Rachel Vandenbrink was hesitant to use the word exhausted to talk about nurses, but says it's the best way to describe what these last 18 months have been like.
In all honesty, it's a good word, because at any time I meet with school nurses, I'm looking at these screens and we're just like, tired, tired of the battle.
And this fall, new challenges, rampant misinformation, more forceful pushbacks on masks, and resistance to vaccine mandates.
We're frontlining it, so it's hard. I mean, in all honesty, that's where I use the word exhausted, because you're heads on with these families who don't want their kids home, and we don't blame them.
School nurses again in high demand, but still in short supply.
Now, last school year and over the summer, some districts were able to hire part-time nurses for testing and tracing, and some of those nurses who carried over from last year became full-time nurses, so a bit of some hope there for districts that are struggling. But one of the new factors complicating this, a fight brewing over whether mask mandates are illegal under the new state budget.